They begged for mercy. And humanity's ultimate war deity struck with fire. Part 2. The invasion deepens. The Krell fleet did not stop. Their ships looked like giant black insects with sharp legs and glowing green bellies. They moved fast through space. Behind them came thousands of smaller attack craft. They flew straight toward the human colony called New Haven. On the ground of New Haven, people ran. Alarms screamed from every building. Red lights flashed. Mothers held babies tight. Fathers grabbed what they could carry. Soldiers tried to keep order. Lieutenant Brian Carter stood on a hill outside the main city. He was tall with short black hair. His uniform was dirty from fighting all day. Around him were 20 soldiers from his platoon. Sergeant Laura Mitchell was next to him. She had brown hair and a tight bun, and sharp eyes. She carried a heavy rifle. "Enemy ships are in low orbit," Brian said into his radio. "They are dropping troops. We hold this pass until the last civilian ship leaves." Laura looked through binoculars. Smoke rose from the city below. Krell landing pods hit the ground hard. Green armored soldiers jumped out. They moved like machines, shooting anything that moved. "Our fighters are gone," Laura said. "We are all that is left on the ground." Brian nodded. "Then we make them pay for every step." The platoon opened fire. Bright blue energy shots flew down the mountain road. Krell soldiers fell, but more came. They climbed over their dead. Their weapons made loud buzzing sounds. Rocks exploded around the humans. A Krell shell hit close. Dirt and stone flew up. One soldier screamed and fell. Laura pulled him back. "Keep shooting," she yelled. Brian fired his rifle until it got too hot. He switched to a sidearm. "Fall back to the second line," he ordered. "We cannot hold here forever." The soldiers ran back up the hill. Krell troops followed. The sky above turned dark with more ships. Plasma beams came down from orbit. They hit houses and turned them to ash. People screamed as they tried to reach the last evacuation shuttles. In space, human warships fought hard, but the Krell had more ships. One by one, the human ships broke apart. Explosions lit up the black like short suns. A Krell commander watched from his bridge. His name was Warlord Kraz. He had red stripes on his shell. "The humans break," he said. "Send the message to the galaxy." Soon, every screen in the Galactic Concord showed the same picture. Krell ships flew over burning human cities. Dead soldiers lay in the streets. The voice of Warlord Kraz came through. "Humans flee like weak animals," he said. "Your colonies burn, your people die. Surrender your worlds now, or we burn them all. No mercy, no prisoners." In the big round room of the Concord, aliens watched. Some smiled. Some looked away. Ambassador John Harper sat still. His face looked like stone. When the message ended, John stood. He walked to the center platform. All aliens looked at him. "You show pictures of death," John said. "You think it scares us. It does not. It makes us angry." Ziktar, the High Admiral, clicked his mandibles. "Angry? Good. Be angry. Then die." John looked straight at him. "You were told to stop. You did not. Now you will see what happens when you push too far." He turned to the room. "Humanity does not want this war, but if you force it, we will finish it." The aliens laughed again, but this time, some laughs sounded nervous. John sent a tight beam message back to Earth. It was short. "They keep coming. Send the signal." Deep under the mountains of Earth, Captain Kevin Brooks read the message. His eyes went narrow. Dr. Amanda Hayes stood next to him. She looked at the big screen that showed the dark sphere in the outer dark. "Vulcan," Kevin said. "It is time." Amanda nodded. She typed a long code. Lights turned green along panels. A low hum started. It grew louder. "Signal sent," she said. "Vulcan is waking. In the cold dark beyond Pluto, the huge sphere moved. It was bigger than most moons. Its surface was black metal, with deep red lines. Those lines began to glow. Small lights appeared along the edges. Inside, crews in black suits ran to stations. Computers checked weapons. Engines tested power. The main fusion hearts lit up one by one. Blue fire burned inside them. The sphere turned slow. Then it started to move. Not fast at first, but steady. It aimed toward the Orion Arm, toward New Haven. On New Haven, Brian and Laura reached the last bunker. They helped the last civilians inside. The door closed with a heavy sound. Outside, Krell troops came closer. Brian looked at Laura. "We did what we could." She put a hand on his shoulder. "We are not done yet." Above them, the sky changed. A new light appeared. Not from the Krell ships. Something bigger. Something darker. Krell sensors screamed warnings. Their admiral on the flagship looked at his screens. "What is that?" A scout ship sent pictures back. A giant black ball moved through space. It pushed small asteroids out of the way like dust. Red fire glowed around its edges. The admiral laughed at first. "A moon? Humans hide behind rocks now?" But then the sphere kept coming. It did not slow. It did not speak. It just came. In the Concord room, John Harper watched the same pictures on a small screen. He spoke quiet. "You wanted war. Now it comes for you." Ziktar stared at the image. For the first time, his mandibles stopped moving. Far away, Vulcan moved faster. Its engines roared in silence. The war deity woke up angry, and it carried fire. They begged for mercy, and humanity's ultimate war deity struck with fire. Part 3. The Awakening. In the cold black beyond the last planets, Vulcan opened its eyes. Not real eyes, not soft lights. Hard red glows appeared along the edges of the giant sphere. Deep inside metal halls, machines woke up. Lights snapped on. Air pumps hissed. Crew members in gray suits ran to their posts. Their boots made loud echoes on the hard floors. Captain Kevin Brooks watched from a command room far on Earth. His screen showed every part of Vulcan. Green status bars filled the display. Engines, shields, weapons, all ready. He spoke into the microphone. "All sections, report status." Voices came back fast. Main fusion cores at full power. Armor layers charged. Primary lances on standby. Navigation locked on target system. Kevin looked at Dr. Amanda Hayes. She stood with her arms crossed. Her face looked serious. "It's moving," she said. First acceleration burn in 30 seconds. The sphere trembled. A low rumble started deep in its center. Blue fire shot out from nozzles around the middle. The huge mass pushed forward. Stars behind it seemed to bend a little. Vulcan was awake, and it was angry. On New Haven, the fighting still raged. Lieutenant Brian Carter and Sergeant Laura Mitchell hid in the bunker with the last survivors. The walls shook from explosions outside. Dust fell from the ceiling. Children cried. Adults held them close. Brian checked his rifle. Only half a power cell left. "We hold until the shuttles get clear," he told his team. "No one gets past this door." Laura looked at the small screen on the wall. It showed the sky above. Krell ships filled it. They dropped more troops. Green beams cut through the smoke. Then something changed. The screen flickered. A new shadow appeared at the edge of the picture. It grew fast. Bigger than the moon that used to hang over New Haven. "What the hell is that?" one soldier asked. Laura zoomed in. The shape was round, black. Red lines glowed on its surface like burning veins. It moved straight toward the Krell fleet. No turn, no slow approach, just straight in. Brian stared. "That's no moon. That's ours." In orbit, the Krell flagship shook with alarms. Warlord Kraz stood on the bridge. Red lights flashed across his face. Officers ran around him. Unknown object entering the system, one officer said. Mass reading is impossible. It is larger than our largest battle station. Kraz looked at the main screen. The black sphere filled half the view. Scan it, he ordered. The scans came back broken. Shields unknown type. Hull material unknown. Energy signature matches nothing in our records. Kraz laughed. It sounded forced. A human trick. Probably a hollow rock with engines. Fire on it. Thousands of guns pointed at Vulcan. Green plasma bolts flew out. They hit the sphere. Bright flashes covered its surface. Nothing happened. The red glow on Vulcan grew brighter. The hits did not leave marks. The armor drank the energy. Small vents opened. They spat the plasma back out, like sparks from a fire. Kraz stopped laughing. Increase fire. All ships, full barrage. More beams hit. More explosions. Vulcan kept coming. Closer. Steady. Silent. On the bridge of the flagship, an officer whispered, "It is not firing back." Kraz snarled, "Then it is weak. Push forward. Ram it if you must." But the priests in the back of the bridge started to pray. Old words from old books. "The firebringer from the death world," one said, "the one that judges without words." Kraz turned on them. "Shut up. We are the Krell Dominion. We do not fear myths." Yet his claws shook a little. Down on New Haven, Brian and Laura watched from the bunker window. The sky lit up with flashes. Vulcan passed between the planet and the sun. Its shadow fell over the battlefield. For a moment, the Krell stopped shooting. They looked up. The sphere hung there, huge, dark. Red fire danced along its equator. No guns moved yet. No beams came out. It just watched. Laura whispered, "It's waiting." Brian nodded. "For what?" "For them to beg," he said. In the Galactic Concord chamber, Ambassador John Harper sat alone now. Most aliens had left to watch from their own ships or stations. The big screens showed the same view, Vulcan in the system, Krell fleet facing it. John spoke to the empty room. "You wanted proof. Here it is." A small hologram appeared beside him, Kevin's face. "It's in position," Kevin said. "Ready for your word." John looked at the screen. He saw the Krell ships turn to face the sphere. He saw the tiny human shuttles still escaping New Haven. "Hold," John said. "Let them see it. Let them feel it." Kevin nodded. "Understood. Vulcan stands ready." Back in the system, Vulcan stopped moving. It floated now, perfectly still in the chaos. Engines quiet, glow steady. The Krell fired again, harder. More ships joined. The barrage lit space like daylight. Vulcan took it all. Not one crack showed. Then, slow, one panel on the sphere opened. A single red light appeared inside. It looked like an eye. It stared at the flagship. Warlord Kraz felt cold. "What is it doing?" No one answered. The red eye blinked once. Then the sphere spoke. Not words. A deep sound rolled across every radio channel. It was not language. It was thunder trapped in metal. It shook ships. It shook bones. The Krell pilots froze at their controls. Some dropped their weapons. Some prayed. On New Haven, the sound reached the surface. The ground shook. Dust fell. Brian looked up. "That's the warning," he said. Laura gripped her rifle tight. The last one. Above, Vulcan waited. No rush, no anger shown, just patience. Cold. Endless. The Krell Admiral opened a channel. His voice cracked. "Human vessel, identify yourself." No answer. He tried again. "This is Warlord Kraz of the Krell Dominion. State your purpose." Still nothing. The red eye blinked again. Then Vulcan moved. Just a little. Forward, 1 meter. Then another. Slow. Inexorable. The Krell fleet backed up. Ships bumped each other in panic. Kraz shouted, "Hold position!" But fear spread fast. In the Concorde, John Harper smiled for the first time. "Now they know," he said quiet. Vulcan kept coming. Closer, bigger. The war deity had woken. They begged for mercy. And humanity's ultimate war deity struck with fire. Part 4. The Plea. Panic hit the Krell fleet like a storm. Ships tried to turn away from the giant black sphere. Engines roared. Thrusters fired wild. Some vessels bumped into each other. Sparks flew in the dark. The once proud armada now looked like scared fish in a net. On the flagship bridge, Warlord Kraz gripped the command rail so hard his claws bent metal. Red warning lights covered every screen. Officers shouted reports over each other. "Distance to object decreasing," one yelled. "No response to hails." "Shields at maximum. Still no damage from our fire." "Mass signature growing. Gravity waves pulling us in." Kraz snarled. "Fire everything. Break through." The fleet unleashed its full power. Green plasma storms crashed against Vulcan. White flashes lit space. Beams thick as rivers hit the sphere. The red glow on its surface only grew brighter, like it fed on the attack. Then Vulcan answered. Not with words. A single deep pulse rolled out from its core. It was not loud like thunder. It was heavy. It pressed on every ship hull. Crews on Krell vessels fell to their knees. Heads rang. Bones hurt. The pulse carried no message. It just said one thing. Stop. The barrage slowed, then stopped. Ships drifted. Engines quieted. Kraz stared at the main view. The sphere filled the screen now. Close enough to see details. Deep lines ran across its black skin. They pulsed red like slow heartbeats. Small ports opened along the equator. Inside them, faint lights moved. Weapons. Ready. The warlord's mandibles trembled. He opened a channel. His voice came out weak at first. He cleared his throat. Human forces. This is Warlord Kraz of the Krell Dominion. We request communication. Silence. He tried again. Louder. We seek terms. Pull back your weapon. We will discuss peace. Still nothing. Kraz looked around. His officers stared at him. Some had fear in their eyes. One priest whispered old prayers. The warlord swallowed hard. We beg for mercy, he said. The words tasted like acid. We withdraw from your colonies. We leave the Orion Arm. Name your price. Reparations, territory, anything. In the Galactic Concorde chamber, Ambassador John Harper watched the transmission. The room was empty, except for a few aliens who stayed to see the end. They sat frozen. John touched a control. His face appeared on every Krell ship screen. You begged for mercy, John said. His voice was calm, flat. Humanity hears you. Kraz leaned forward. Then call off your monster. John looked straight through the camera. You burned our people, killed without warning. Now you beg. Mercy has rules. Kraz's claws clicked fast. We offer full retreat. We pay tribute. Metals, fuel, technology. Whatever you want. John paused. You will leave every human world. You will sign a treaty. No more attacks, ever. And you will tell the galaxy what happens when you attack us. Kraz nodded fast. Yes, all of it. Just stop that thing. John's eyes went cold. Not yet. He cut the channel. Far below Earth's surface, Captain Kevin Brooks stood in the command bunker. Dr. Amanda Hayes worked beside him. Screens showed the Krell fleet in chaos. Vulcan hung over them like a judge. The plea came in, Amanda said. They offer everything. Kevin stared at the main display. Vulcan waited. No movement. No fire yet. They begged, he said. Protocol says we can answer. Amanda looked at him. Answer how? Kevin's jaw tightened. Show them why we built it. He touched the console. A new command line appeared. He entered the code. Lights turned amber. "Vulcan," he said into the mic. "Stand by for judgment." On New Haven, Brian Carter and Laura Mitchell watched from the bunker. The shaking stopped. The Krell outside had frozen. Their troops looked up at the sky, weapons lowered. Brian opened the bunker door a crack. "They're not shooting." Laura stepped beside him. "Look." Above the smoke, Vulcan dominated the sky. Its shadow covered half the battlefield. Krell soldiers dropped to the ground. Some raised claws in surrender. Others ran. In space, Kraz opened the channel again. His voice broke. "Please," he said, "we beg you. Mercy. We were wrong. We see it now. Call it off." John's voice returned. "You see it now. After the fire started. After the dead piled up." Kraz fell silent. John continued. "Humanity does not enjoy this, but we do not forget, and we do not forgive easily." He looked to the side. A nod. Kevin received it. "Understood," he said. "Vulcan, execute phase judgment." Inside the sphere, systems locked. Targeting computers hummed. Power surged to the main weapons. Kraz saw the change. Red lights flared brighter on Vulcan. Ports widened. Energy gathered. "No," he shouted. "We surrender. Full surrender." Too late. Vulcan did not speak. It acted. A single beam lanced out. Thin at first, then thick, sun-hot white. It struck a Krell cruiser on the edge of the fleet. The ship vanished in a silent flash. No debris, just gone. Another beam. Another ship gone. Kraz screamed orders. "Evacuate! Scatter!" But Vulcan moved its gaze slow. Methodical. Each beam found a target. Precise. No waste. Ships exploded one by one. Not in rage. In judgment. The flagship shook. Kraz fell to the floor. "Stop! We beg you!" John's voice came one last time. "You begged. We heard. Now you pay the price." Vulcan kept firing. On New Haven, Brian and Laura stepped outside. The ground no longer shook from bombs, only from distant blasts in orbit. Fireworks of death lit the night sky. Laura looked up. "It's over for them." Brian nodded. "Not for us. Not yet." In the Concorde, the few aliens left stared in horror. One whispered, "That is no ship. That is death itself." John stood. "That is our guardian, our war deity. It wakes only when we have no other choice." He looked at the screen. Vulcan swept its beams across the fleet. Fewer ships remained. The rest tried to run. Vulcan pursued. Slow, sure, inevitable. Kraz's last transmission came through broken. "Mercy, please." The channel cut as his flagship took a direct hit. A white flower bloomed where the ship had been. Vulcan paused. Its glow dimmed a little. The beams stopped. The remaining Krell ships fled. They ran in every direction. No order. No formation. John spoke to the empty room. "Let them carry the story." In the bunker, Kevin watched the screens. "Judgment complete," he said. "Vulcan stands down." Amanda exhaled. They begged, we answered. Above New Haven, the sky cleared. Stars returned. Vulcan turned slow. It moved away from the planet, back toward the dark. The war deity had spoken, with fire. They begged for mercy, and humanity's ultimate war deity struck with fire. Part 5. The Fire Falls. Vulcan did not wait for more words. It did not need them. The giant sphere hung in the black like a judge who already decided the sentence. Red lines across its surface burned brighter. Power flowed to the main weapons. Inside the metal heart, coils charged. Energy built until the air inside hummed with heat. A lattice of ports opened all around the equator. They looked like eyes waking up. From each one, a thin white thread appeared. Then the threads grew thick. They joined into beams of pure fire, hotter than suns, sharper than blades. The first beam struck a Krell heavy cruiser. The ship tried to raise shields. Too late. The white fire punched through. The hull glowed red, then white. In 1 second the ship turned to expanding gas. No wreck, no pieces, just empty space where it used to be. Vulcan swept them slow and careful. Each one found a target. A destroyer vanished in a flash. A carrier broke in half, then burned away. The beams did not miss. They did not waste. They cut like a hot knife through soft fat. Warlord Kraz's flagship turned to run. Engines screamed at full power. The ship twisted away from the sphere. But Vulcan moved too. Not fast, not wild, steady. It matched speed, closed distance. Kraz stood on his bridge. His officers lay on the floor. Some cried, some stared blank. The warlord looked at the main screen. The black sphere filled it. Red glow reflected in his eyes. "Evasive pattern," he shouted. His voice cracked. "All power to engines. Jump if you can." The jump drive tried. It sparked, failed. The gravity from Vulcan pulled too hard. The ship shook. Metal groaned. A single beam locked on. It grew brighter. Kraz raised one claw like he could stop it. The beam hit center mass. White light swallowed the flagship. For a moment, the ship outline stayed dark against the fire. Then it broke apart. Pieces flew out. They burned up before they went far. The bridge vanished last. Kraz's last scream cut off mid-word. The rest of the fleet saw it. Panic took over. Ships scattered in every direction. Some tried to hide behind asteroids. Vulcan ignored the rocks. Beams went through them. Others tried to jump to hyperspace. Most failed. The ones that made it carried scars, burn marks on their hulls, messages of defeat. Vulcan kept firing until no large threats remained. Small escape pods drifted away. Vulcan let them go. It did not chase runners who no longer fought. Judgment ended when the fight ended. The sphere slowed. Engines dimmed. Red glow faded to soft orange. Ports closed. The war deity turned. It moved back toward the outer dark. Away from New Haven. Away from the Orion Arm. Silent again. On the planet's surface, Brian Carter and Laura Mitchell stepped out of the bunker. Smoke still rose from the city. But no more plasma fell. No more Krell troops advanced. The sky looked clear for the first time in days. Brian looked up. Vulcan was a small dark dot now, moving away. Stars shone behind it. Laura put her rifle down. "It's gone." Brian nodded. It did what it came to do. Around them survivors came out. People hugged. Some cried. Children pointed at the sky. "The big ball saved us," one boy said. In the distance, human rescue ships entered orbit. Lights flashed as they landed. Medics ran to help the wounded. Brian turned to Laura. "We lived." She gave a small smile. "Because of that thing." Back on Earth in the deep bunker, Captain Kevin Brooks watched the last scans. The Krell fleet was broken, scattered, gone as a fighting force. It slept again. "They begged," she said quiet. "We gave them fire." Kevin stood. "And they will remember." In the Galactic Concord chamber, Ambassador John Harper faced the few aliens who stayed. The big screens showed the empty space where the Krell Armada used to be. Only debris clouds drifted now. John spoke clear. "Humanity wants peace. We always did. We build, we grow, we explore. But when you attack us, when you burn our homes and kill our people, we answer." He paused. "You saw our answer today." One alien, a tall, thin creature with silver skin, stood up. His voice shook. What is that thing?" John looked at him. "We call it Vulcan, our final guard, our war deity. It sleeps until we need it. When it wakes, it brings fire, and it does not stop until the threat ends." The alien sat down slow. John continued. "Go back to your worlds. Tell them, do not test humanity. Do not attack our colonies. Do not think we are weak because we talk first. Because when we stop talking, The fire comes. The aliens left one by one. No arguments, no laughs, just quiet steps. John stayed alone in the chamber. He looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Vulcan waited. Hidden, patient. On New Haven, Brian and Laura helped load wounded onto shuttles. The sun rose over the damaged city. Smoke cleared. People started to rebuild. A young girl walked up to Brian. She held a small flower she found in the dirt. Is the big ball coming back? Brian knelt. Only if someone tries to hurt us again. The girl nodded. Then I hope it stays sleeping. Brian smiled. Me too. High above in the cold dark, Vulcan settled into position. Engines cold, weapons dark. The red lines faded completely. It waited. The galaxy knew now. Humanity did not start wars. But when wars came to them, they ended them. Hard. Fast. With fire. And if anyone forgot, Vulcan would remind them. The war deity rested, but it never truly slept. They begged for mercy, and humanity's ultimate war deity struck with fire. Part 1: The Galactic Council convenes. The huge round room of the Galactic Concord floated in the center of a bright nebula. Blue lights glowed from the walls. Hundreds of alien species sat in seats that floated above the floor. Their bodies looked very different. Some had scales. Some had tentacles. Some looked like big insects with hard shells. In the middle stood a tall platform. On it sat the leaders of the meeting. Today, the main speaker was a tall, insect-like being from the Krell Dominion. His name was High Admiral Ziktar. His black eyes shone under the lights. His mandibles clicked as he spoke. Listen to me, all of you, Ziktar said in a sharp voice that came through translators. The humans have grown too fast. They build colonies everywhere in the Orion Arm. They take planets that belong to others. They do not ask. This must stop. Many aliens nodded. A furry creature with 4 arms raised a claw. Yes, their ships fly into our space without warning. They claim empty worlds and fill them with their noisy cities. Another alien, a tall blue being with glowing skin, added, their numbers grow every day. Soon they will reach our core worlds. We cannot let this happen. Ziktar lifted one claw high. The Krell fleet has already acted. We attacked 2 of their small outposts. We burned their bases from orbit. The humans lost many ships. Now they run, but they must give up all claims in the Orion Arm. Or we will burn more. The room filled with sounds of agreement. Some aliens cheered. Others tapped their limbs on the tables. At one side of the room sat the human ambassador. His name was John Harper. He wore a simple gray uniform, with the Earth flag on his shoulder. He looked calm. His face showed no fear. He sat straight and listened to every word. When the aliens finished talking, John stood up slowly. All eyes turned to him. The room became quiet. John spoke in a clear voice. The Krell attacked without talking first. They killed civilians on those outposts. Women, children, farmers. They did not give warnings. They just fired. Ziktar laughed. The sound was like dry leaves breaking. You speak of mercy now, after you stole our space? Humans are weak. You talk of peace, but you expand like fire in dry grass. We will stop you. John looked straight at Ziktar. Humanity wants peace. We always have. But we do not run from fights. If you push us, you will see something you do not expect. More laughter came from the aliens. A small green creature with big eyes said, What will you do? Send more words? Your fleet is small. Your weapons are old. John did not smile. You think we are weak because we do not attack first. You think we fear war. But remember this. We come from a hard world. Earth taught us to survive, and when we fight to win. He paused. You have one chance. Pull your ships back. Leave our colonies alone. Then we can talk about borders and trade. Ziktar waved a claw. We do not talk with prey. We demand your surrender. All human ships must leave the Orion Arm in 10 cycles, or we destroy every colony there. The room waited for John's answer. John looked around at all the faces. Some aliens looked angry. Some looked curious. A few looked worried. I will send your words to Earth, John said. But know this. If your fleet moves forward, you will wake something big. Something we keep asleep for a reason. It is not a ship. It is not an army. It is our final guard. And it carries fire. The aliens laughed again. Ziktar clicked his mandibles loud. Fire? From humans? We have seen your fire. It is small, weak. We will crush it. He did not say more, but his eyes stayed hard. Far away, on Earth, in a deep bunker under tall mountains, 2 people watched screens. One was Captain Kevin Brooks. He had short brown hair and strong shoulders. He wore a black uniform. Next to him stood Dr. Amanda Hayes. She had long dark hair tied back. She was the main builder of a secret project. The screens showed live pictures from the colonies. Krell ships flew over burning cities. People ran to escape pods. Smoke rose high into the sky. Kevin's hands made tight fists. They hit New Haven hard. Our defenses held for a day, but they keep coming. Amanda looked at another screen. It showed a dark shape hidden in the outer solar system. The shape was huge, round like a small moon, but it was not a moon. It was made by human hands. Its surface had lines of metal and glowing red spots. The council message just came in, Amanda said. The Krell wants surrender. John gave them the warning. Kevin nodded slow. They laughed at him, like always. Amanda touched a button. A soft hum started deep in the bunker. Lights turned on along far walls. If they do not stop, she said, we send the wake-up signal. Kevin looked at the huge dark sphere on the screen. Vulcan, he whispered, our war deity. The sphere waited in silence. Its engines were cold. Its weapons slept. But inside, systems checked themselves. Power built up slow. Kevin turned to Amanda. How long until it's ready? 12 hours if we start now, she answered. But once we wake it, there is no going back. Kevin stared at the burning colony pictures. He saw a child carried by a soldier through smoke. His jaw became tight. Then get ready, he said. They asked for war. Soon they will beg for mercy. Back in the Galactic Concord, the meeting ended. Aliens left the room talking loud. They thought the humans would break soon. John Harper walked out last. He looked up at the stars through a big window. Somewhere out there, a giant waited, and it was almost time to let it loose.